Hi everyone, I just wanted to make a quick video to talk about Tucker Carlson fighting back against the liberal outrage mob. So as you know, the liberals have been trying to get Tucker Carlson off the air for a long time because he is hard-hitting and very effective. So what they do is they try to look back 10, 15, 20 years, however far they can go back, to find something wrong that he has said so they can use against him, so they can have their Twitter outrage and everybody goes ballistic, and then they start calling for him to be fired. They start calling for his sponsors to be dropped, and that we've seen this played out. I mean, they did the same thing with Kavanaugh. Carlson is a hero because he basically just said, I'm not going to apologize. For what? This is the same left wing, they feign moral outrage when it comes to conservatives. So they're like Puritans when it comes to conservatives, but look at the things they believe in. These are the same people that are totally okay with the 10-year-old stripping in nightclubs. No outrage about that, but oh my gosh, Tucker Carlson said something naughty 13 years ago, and it's a total outrage. So Tucker Carlson, thank you for standing up to the liberal outrage mob. This is a watershed moment for the conservative movement. I hope every conservative is taking notes. This is what you do to the liberals. You tell them, no, I'm not going to apologize, and you point out exactly what they're trying to do. And what they're trying to do behind all this fake outrage is they're trying to take Tucker off the air. They silence Tucker because he's very effective at pointing out liberal hypocrisy. His show is amazing. If you don't watch Tucker Carlson, you need to start watching his show because he has been exposing leftist hypocrisy. He's been exposing the censorship, the way they're trying to shut down free speech and everything. So that's why they want him off the air. And this whole outrage thing, it's not enough that the left controls 90% of the media, but they're going to continue until they get 100% control of the media. And if you look at history, history will show you when the left takes over any type of country, they want complete and total control of every bit of information that goes out there. So now you're seeing it all the way from the media. You're seeing the censorship that's taking place on social media and everywhere else. And nobody is allowed to say anything that is against what they're for. I just got done watching Tucker Carlson's response to the whole situation, and it was absolutely brilliant. He didn't come out and apologize the way everybody was expecting him to come out with his tail between his legs, apologizing and begging for the liberal outrage to forgive him and all that. He didn't do all that. He basically came out and said, no, I'm not going to apologize. I know what this is about. This is about the left trying to silence anyone who doesn't agree with them. So I'm going to play the video of his response and just let you all watch it because it was absolutely amazing. So just let me know what you think about it in the comments below. Thank you.
Loading with calls from reporters. They read you snippets from a press release written by Democratic Party operatives. They demand to know how you could possibly have said something so awful and offensive. Do you have a statement on how immoral you are? It's a bewildering moment, especially when the quotes in question are more than a decade old. There's really not that much you can do to respond. It's pointless to try to explain how the words were spoken in jest or taken out of context, or in any case bear no resemblance to what you actually think or would want for the country. None of that matters. Nobody cares. You know the role you're required to play. You are a sinner begging the forgiveness of Twitter. So you issue a statement of deep contrition. You apologize profusely for your transgressions. You promise to be a better person going forward. With the guidance of your contrition consultants, you send money to whatever organization claims to represent the people you supposedly offended. Then you sit back and brace for a wave of stories about your apology, all of which are simply pretexts for attacking you again. In the end, you get fired. You lose your job. Nobody defends you. Your neighbors avert their gaze as you pull into the driveway. You are ruined. And yet, no matter how bad it gets, no matter how despised and humiliated you may be, there is one thing you can never do, one thing that is absolutely not allowed. You can never acknowledge the comic absurdity of the whole thing. You can never laugh in the face of the mob. You must always pretend that the people yelling at you are somehow your moral superiors. You have to assume that what they say they're mad about is what they're actually mad about. You have to take them at face value. You must pretend this is a debate about virtue and not about power. That your critics are arguing from principle and not from partisanship. No matter what they take from you in the end, you must continue to pretend that these things are true. You are bad, they are good, the system is on the level. But what if we stopped pretending for a minute? What if we acknowledged what's actually going on? One side is deadly serious. They believe that politics is war. They're not interested in abstractions or principles, rules or traditions. They seek power, and they plan to win it, whatever it takes. If that includes getting you fired or silencing you or threatening your family at home or throwing you in prison, okay. They know what their goal is. If you're in the way, they will crush you. What's interesting is how reliably the other side pretends that none of this is happening. Republicans in Washington do a fairly credible imitation of an opposition party. They still give speeches. They tweet quite a bit. They make concerned noises about how liberals are bad. But on the deepest level, it's all a pose. In their minds, where it matters, Republican leaders are controlled by the left. They know exactly what they're allowed to say and believe. They know what the rules are. They may understand that those rules are written by the very people who seek their destruction. They ruthlessly enforce them anyway. Republicans in Washington police their own with a never-ending enthusiasm. Like trustees at a prison, they dutifully report back to the warden, hoping for perks. Nobody wants to be called names. Nobody wants to be Trump. How many times have you seen it happen? Some conservative figure will say something stupid or incomplete or too far outside the bounds of received wisdom for the moral guardians of cable news. Twitter goes bonkers. The mob demands a response. Very often, the first people calling for the destruction of that person are Republican leaders. You saw it with the Covington Catholic high school kids. You see it all the time. Kevin McCarthy spends half his day telling Republican members